on some manifest your life.
Come on now, y'all. It's time.
Shift your mind.
Been past time.
Been past. And raise the consciousness type.
And that's on time.
On time. So I'm Christie.
And I am Mia. And you can consider us your spiritual girlfriends for the next hour or so. Hey. Okay, you guys. Last week, we talked about protecting your energy. Mm-hmm. Did you hear the claps in my head as I said it? Okay. We are energy beings surrounded by everything that is made of energy. So there is always an exchange of energy going around us and involving us. The things you do and the people you associate with, i.e. share your energy and space with, hello,
come on
have a way of transferring their energy into you and you into them. Yep. So this is so important to protect your energy and your space. And last week we talked about this and some things that you can do to protect your energy and why it's so important. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, please do, okay? But Christy, what we're talking about today.
Ooh. Okay, so today we're talking about fear.
Period.
Yes, fear. We've all dealt with it. Mm-hmm. We continue to deal with it. In various moments of our lives. It does not depend, or doesn't matter if you were a child, a teen, a young adult, or grown. We all have fear, and we all deal with fear. And know that fear is completely normal. It doesn't mean that you aren't, you're a failure and that there's something wrong with you because you have those moments of fear. But the important thing to do is to learn and to understand how to overcome it. And so that's what we're going to talk about today.
Come on. All right. Now let's talk about what fear is. So fear in humans, in us, occurs in response to certain stimulus. That's something that has occurred either in the present moment or in anticipation or in an expectation of something that could happen. It's like it's a perceived threat or a perceived danger. Yep. So the fear response arises from the perception of danger leading to some type of confrontation, right? Sorry, excuse me, you guys. Leading to a confrontation or an escape from avoiding the threat. So it's like I perceive that something is going to happen. It has not happened. I'm not in it, but I have made up in my head.
Ooh,
and now I am responding to something that I perceive or believe or made up in my head is going to happen. And now I'm moving out of fear. So, and sometimes, you guys, it can be the belief or perception of a threat or danger, or even if it's not necessarily physical danger, it's the threat of I'll be embarrassed, the threat of I'm going to fail.
Right.
That's fear. Like all of that. Yes. It can get so extreme sometimes to us that we will literally not move. It's just, or we pop off. Like come on. Like fear it's a monster.
It is. And actually, Mia, you said something. Actually, you said two words: perceived.
Come on.
And perceived and perception is the same, but it's perceived.
Yeah,
it is perceived. It's perceived as a risk. So this is in our head, and so a lot of what we believe is fear or what we feel is fear. It's a perceived threat. So again, this is all that is happening in our mind.
And I think there's it's like it's a difference between I'm someplace and I'm in danger.
Someone's shooting. Or
like
there's a bull coming towards you. That's
and it's like, or even if you're outside and you're like, okay, something don't feel right in this moment, in this time, in this space. I'm just gonna skedaddle on this way. We talking about you in the house and you like, but what if I go outside and everybody starts shooting?
Right.
I'm gonna sit in the house. Or what if you know what I mean? Like we start making up these scenarios in our heads.
And so I think you're fine. I think some of us, you may have heard this saying, fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yes,
and this is something that I agree with, because it's like we create this in our head and we make it into something that it really and truly is not. But I will add that facing your fears doesn't necessarily mean that you won't feel the fear. You just learn to work with it. And then the energy of your fear, it will be different. So meaning that it won't be as debilitating or paralyzing. So I've been telling Mia And I think I shared on here too, when I turned 30, I said that I was going to start facing my fear. So I went skydiving. I jumped off of this waterfall in Belize. I've just been like really pushing myself to do things because it scares me. And even though it scared me, or things nowadays scare me, I realized that it's like a different level of fear.
Yeah, it's something.
It's still scary. Yeah. Like my heart still pounds, but it's like a different quality of fear. But it's one that I can work through, not one that paralyzes me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it does. That's really interesting. Now you just got me thinking about. Okay, so but when you said that, it just made me think that most of the things that I in my life have fear, none of them have been like stuff like jumping off a plane. Like I'll do that in a heartbeat. It's
really?
Not. No, it's.
That is so funny.
It's but no, it's kind of messed up a little bit because I'm sitting here thinking it's really fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of being seen, fear of not being seen. Like there's you know what I mean? Like I feel like those are most of my I'm like, oh, I like it. I'll jump. Like, what we doing? Like, let me see somebody. But you know, I'm one of those people. Let me see you do it first. Did you die? No. Okay, I'll go.
Yeah. I mean, but skydiving was something that I've always wanted to do, but I was scared to do it. And it didn't help that I was the very last person out the plane. So I'm seeing all these people, like, you have this open window, and I'm seeing all these people, like, at the edge, and they just fly out because the wind takes them.
Oh, wait, you fly out that fast?
Yes, 13,500 feet up in the air.
I'm going to do it.
Or miles.
I'm going to do it. Did you do it in Chicago? Because, you know, they have a... Oswego County up there or something? Okay.
Chicago skydive.
Yep.
Now, okay. I will go with you.
Chrissy, I'm about to jump out of damn plane. I'm sick. Come on. Y'all heard her say it. I want to jump out of plane. Oh, my gosh.
I'll do it.
Okay, sorry, guys.
You know what's fine? We got off topic.
Okay.
But, okay. And I will just put a disclaimer out there. By no means am I telling you guys to jump off a cliff, jump off a building. No, if it is something that you feel is, fearful to you, but it's nothing crazy, like, you're afraid to be in the 12 feet deep end of the pool or something like that. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. Baby steps.
Whatever your fear is.
Yeah, whatever your fear is. Yeah. It's going to be different for everyone.
Interesting. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay. So first step, honestly, is acknowledging your fear.
Yeah. What are those fears?
Damn. Look, I'm like, oof. I will have to say, y'all probably going to hear me pause several times because when I say, and I know Christy is as well, I am currently in this, like, this second.
Presently.
Working through overcoming some of my own fears, and they're debilitating. And I know that I know this. So when I'm just like, as we're talking about this, I'm like, whew, okay. Yeah. So learning how to overcome your fear, to face it, is like basically any other challenge that we face, you guys. So you have to identify the challenge in order to overcome it. It's like the first step in AA.
Acknowledging there's a problem.
Acknowledging there's a problem.
Not that I know that.
Not that I snuck in a meeting or two for free donuts. No, I'm joking, you guys. I'm joking. No, but seriously, it's acknowledging that this exists. So I would tell you something that I learned that I've used with clients before. It's acknowledging and naming it.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I like this exercise where it's like, okay, I know what this is, and you kind of like describe like, what is this? Give it a name.
Really?
Oh yeah, but get like a whole little. What did I call this heifer? She had. Oh, what was her name? But it helped because it's a very tangible thing, but it's intangible. Right, it's like it's real. The fear is real, even though the reason you may have the fear is not necessarily real, but the feeling that you feel is very real. So it helps people and your acknowledgement of it, it's like it kind of takes it away from you and puts it in front of you. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, hey, Shelby, what's up? What's cracking? Like now I'm facing it and you're acknowledging like why are you here? Right. Why you messing with me? I don't even like you like that. So acknowledging, I think, is a huge step. And for people it comes up and it works in different ways, but I know that when I've talked to people like and I did this for myself. for one thing. I need to do it again. I'm so glad you said that. Bing, bang, boop. Okay. But yeah, you just have to acknowledge it and know it's there.
Yeah, and I think it's important to also realize that we feel fear for a reason. And I mean, think about it. That fear basically tells us that we are in danger. So once you acknowledge it, realize that it's there. Recognize that fear can work to your advantage.
Oh damn, this is a hard one. Okay, hold on.
So I mean, we feel fear. We do feel fear for a reason, and it's important for us to recognize that fear does work for our advantage. But I think it also has to require us to take a moment to say, is this something where I really need to be fearful of? Like me getting in the water in the Caribbean Ocean, that scared me. But I was like, Christy, why are you afraid?
Well, sharks, jellyfish.
But there are no sharks.
No,
there are tons of people out there. So I'm like, what am I afraid
I see
of?
what you're saying, but okay. So how do you, for real? Like, okay, let's talk somebody who's afraid of water. Yeah. So me being afraid of water, someone being afraid of water is plausible. Like I'm out in the ocean. The idea of being out in the ocean is super fear for some people, and then there's things down there like you in their territory. You don't run nothing up in there. Respect their home. Respect it. Yep. And so if something swims by you or touches your leg, I have seen. I have done some things. I'm like, I jumped in a hole of water and jumped down with some sharks. Like, I'm thinking about this, like, what? Anyway, but I've seen somebody, like, for real, like, have a whole panic attack, and she was facing her fear, but...
And I wonder if that stems from a childhood trauma.
See, I mean, I'm saying she was, like, we went out on a boat to go do this dive, and this girl, she was kind of like, her friends were like, you got it, and you could tell she was really, okay. She's like, I can do it, you know what I mean? Like,
I can do it.
Baby, she had a full out panic attack. And nothing touched her. It was just one of the little fish, just it was too close, and then how it is when you move in the water. And we were in shallow water, so she kicked up the dirt, the water underneath, and then freak out, like total, because now she can't see. I mean, it was, and then so how I knew that she was really having a panic attack is all she had to do was stand up. Like you could literally, like she could have stand, but she couldn't, she had to go right back to the bed, like I'm done. But she faced her fear, but it didn't turn out well. So so. How do we know? Like, seriously. She acknowledged it. And I don't even know this woman. I'm like,
but was she really ready to face it, or was she just going off of her friends hyping her up?
Well, she was on a group trip with her friends. So, it was about five. It was five of them. Because 4 girls were sitting on each side of her. And I think she wanted to, go out with her friends. Like, we're on a trip. I don't want to not do the excursion with my crew, I just...
And see, I think that
didn't go well for her.
It doesn't sound like it went well.
Yeah.
But I will say, okay, so when I was in the water, I had a moment where I panicked. And when I panicked, I was starting to, like, go under. And then I had to talk to myself, like, Christy, come on. You didn't come all the way out here to do this to just...
Wait, so you panicked once you got under?
I panicked when I got in. Like, when I first got in, when I got out of the boat into the water, I panicked a little bit.
Okay, were you guys in deep? Did you come off the boat in deep? Okay, gotcha, okay.
But I started to panic, and I was like, Christy, you are fine. And then once I said, you're fine, then I was like, okay, I'm good. So I was fine.
Yeah.
So I honestly think that it requires you to step back and like, okay, wait a minute. And I think spiritually, like, I understand where I am now. So I'm like, it's
okay.
You know
what? Now I'm starting to as I'm thinking about it, because I was like, wait a minute, hold on, because that girl literally just popped in my head. We were talking about this. I think there's a difference between some stuff you got to do on your own. So you see how you had that moment where you're like, okay, hold on. So it was, and her friends were being supportive. I think that maybe was something that she probably should have taken her time and her space to do it, and like
Yeah.
You know, so as she's coming up there, I mean, the support system was off the chain. But you know how sometimes when you're about to cry and you're not having a good day, somebody says, "What's wrong?" And you like, "God damn it, now I'm crying, leave me alone." You know what I mean?
I was fine.
I was fine. It was like, you know how you like, I'm good. Just let me. But it's my like, oh my goodness, are you okay? And then it's like, see, now I know you just trying to be nice. I know you are, but now
No, I'm crying.
No, I'm crying. I kind of feel like it was a little bit of that. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, they're like, you got it, girl. You got it. Okay, be careful. And then it's like,
yeah.
and then the freak out. I mean, she freaked out.
Well, then once I freaked out, and this is, you know, another thing that I was going to say is, you know, when you feel that fear, pause and ask yourself where it's coming from. And so when I had that moment of panic, I was like, okay, Christy, pause. And so I started like breathing and meditating, and that's when I calmed down. I was like, okay, it's all right. It is all right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Sorry. We get tangential sometimes.
But it still makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
So, you know, you guys have heard us say this a gajillion times.
Mm-hmm.
Feel the feels. So I honestly, okay, like for real, like this is a real, feel the feels, because you, just like you said, we feel this for a reason. So our feelings, oh my goodness, Lord, our feelings are triggers, they're reminders, they are things that wake us up, they are things, like our feelings. It's like this, our feelings, this part, I'm so glad that I never believed that I was too sensitive, because it's a superpower. Our feelings it tells us about ourselves. Mm-hmm. Like, so if you are feeling some fear, that's telling you something about yourself, like,
let's dig into this a little
let's
further.
dig it, like, you know what I mean, like, let's dig into this. So allow yourself to feel it. Don't try to push the fear away. Sit with it and, like, you know, name it. You know, shoot, I got a bunch of different names, y'all. I have some curse word combinations. If you looking for a couple, send me a DM, because I'm gonna come up with some names. For real, sit with it. And sometimes there's a time for reflection, mm-hmm. and sometimes there's a time for action. Yeah. And like you said, you know, if it scares you, do it anyway. And especially if it's something that you want to do. Right. And sometimes it's like, wait a minute, hold on. Especially I think when there's a fear of, when it's not a danger situation. Right. When those type of fears, I really like. For real, you guys, I honestly think we do ourselves a disservice when we don't sit, because when you really sit back and ask yourself, okay, now what am I for real scared about? What's really like when you really start asking the question and you're like, okay, so it's not really that. What is it? And then sometimes that's difficult for us, because we have to really say, like, oh, you're afraid of people talking about you, or you're afraid of, and then you kind of like, I can't feel like that, but we do. Yeah.
Or you're afraid of not being accepted.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And we would like to think that, you know, I'm grown. I don't need to feel accepted. But at the end of the day, fellowship, that's why we're not down here by ourselves. Right. Yeah. We need each other.
We are made to engage and have relationships with other people.
So when sometimes the fear of being judged or left out or not included, that is a truly paralyzing fear. Yep. So just think about even like, you know, like high school cliquey type stuff. Let's not even talk about high school. No, I mean just like the fear of, when I think about people, I mean that I know for real, who were either athletes but like were really good at something else, but like you're seen as this, so they didn't feel like they could be like, but they really wanted to be in student council,
not the or.
But they feared that the group that they belonged to would be like, you can't be in band, dude. What's wrong with you? You're one of, you know what I mean? So that stops so many people from making decisions about their life, because the fear of the group that I'm in is isolating me. Mm-hmm. And like you said, I can be, you know, an athlete. I can be in the band. I can play chess. But we limit ourselves because of fear.
Facts.
Yes, okay.
So another thing with fear is that, when we come across a situation where it's unknown, that can actually present feelings of fear. Some people fear failure. Some people fear success, ironically, yes. Sometimes the unknown can be fearful. But instead of looking from things from the lens of being fearful, this is something that I've been working on too. Try shifting the unknown adventure. Like, I think of it as an adventure because everyone likes adventures. I like adventures. Try shifting
everyone doesn't like adventures.
I like adventures.
I love it.
So for me, that's helped. Like, instead of me thinking of something as, fearful, it's an adventure. That's how it's worked for me.
Okay. Facts.
So
love
try
that.
shifting it into something that will help you, or, even with the energy of excitement. So I was excited to get in the water, even though I was afraid. But I think having that excitement allowed me to not have that debilitating level of fear that some people would have had. Yeah.
So, okay. Sometimes we can make fear. It's a victim mentality.
Yeah.
Because I'm laughing at myself because I'm thinking about when I go there in my mind. I go down the rabbit hole, baby. I am the drama queen, and the Oscar goes too. And this is literally a whole, like,
we all have those moments.
Where you're just like, I'm literally allowing myself to go down a rabbit hole of some shit that's not even freaking real. Like, and when you kind of come out of that moment, you're like,
I don't get that time back. You don't get that.
I don't get that time. Like, because then this could happen. It could happen. Oh yeah, it could. Oh, I better not do.
It could.
It could. These are. A whole bunch of things could happen, and it's so easy for me to say this to somebody else. Like, I'm scared. I'm like, well, hell, you could walk outside and get hit by an 18-wheel. It's a whole bunch of shit that could happen. You could walk outside and somebody gives you a bag of $1 million and say, this is a blessing, keep it moving.
Right.
There's a lot of things that could happen. Let's deal with what is.
Right. Being in the present moment.
And we talk about this all the time. Your intention. We forget how much power we have over our moments.
Yep.
And how much power we have over creating the next step. Like, the future isn't created because you are creating it.
Yeah.
So if you go through something in a fearful mindset, with that fearful mindset, you're basically creating the shit that you're fearful will happen. That's literally what we're doing. Mm-hmm. But if you go through it like, okay, I know that's a possibility, but this is also a possibility. So I'm going to make my movements and intentions that we're going to go to the right on this one.
And stay in the present moment.
Right. Look, I don't know my right from left. I'm like, am I doing the right? We're going to go, because that's where, when I visualize what I want to happen and how I want a situation or something to occur, I have the power over my mind, over my actions. So let me just choose the intention, the thought, and the actions that match what I want to happen, not what I'm afraid is going to happen.
Yes, because if you think about it, and I'm only using this whole ocean thing because that was the most recent thing for me. But think about it, like if I had gone in the water and I allowed the panic to set in and I went with that, it could have gone a completely different route. Can't even talk. Could have gone a completely different way. But instead, what I did is I paused and I just started to breathe and like meditate and just be in the present moment. And then I was like, okay, all right, I'm ready. Let's do this. But it's so true. Like what you just said, it's so true.
It's just... Now, I will say, though, seriously, and Christy mentioned this a couple of seconds ago, honestly, there are some advantages to feeling fear. It's not all, but it's just, again, because that allows you the ability to protect yourself from harm. Okay? So there are some advantages, but we just need to be cognizant, and again, shift your mind on the way that you are viewing things, because again, you can look at it any way. You have the opportunity to make it anything, but if it's not something real, you guys, like, it hasn't happened.
Right.
Real talk.
Again, you are creating your life, so you can determine. And of course, it's going to be scary. It's going to be. Start with small things, but it's going to be scary, and that is okay.
Okay, so we're acknowledging our fear, right? Okay, we're being big girls.
Put on those big girl panties.
Put big girl panties on. Like, okay, now it's starting. now we're talking about recognizing the excuses that you come up with and why you are making yourself fearful. And boy, let me tell y'all, at confession time, I believe if there is a competition out in the world on who can justify their bullshit better, I want y'all to understand. I was the queen. I founded the Justify Your Bullshit Institute.
I serve on the committee.
Because let me tell y'all something. Oh my goodness. And because, you know, I'm just like, I'm so intelligent, and I can make it make sense. I can make it logical and everything, like, obviously, and talk myself right out of some good opportunities, because I allow myself to be scared. And I mean, I went in, like, and justified it to the, like, seriously. So recognize what you are actually fearful for, and that, again, that's having that conversation with yourself, because fear will make you put things off. Woo. Girl, fear is the master manipulator. Fear is the oh my goodness. Fear will scare you it will paralyze you into doing absolutely nothing. Fear will make excuses as to why you aren't. Fear will take you into that victim mentality. You can really talk yourself into something and really exciting, and you go, fear comes in, like, I'm really tired. I have so many other things to do. It's a dumb idea anyway. Like, oh, okay. And again, justifying our fear. I mean, I have done this. It's like, well, if you really think about it, how much time is it going to take me to do this, and what is the return on my like? This is a trigger for me. This is my poker face to me, because I'm not that. I'm a very logical person, but when it comes to how I feel, when I start trying to analyze my feelings, I know I'm on some bullshit. Like, bitch, you on some like, stop. You don't need to like,
hold on, let me interrupt.
Right. Hold on, let me, like, okay, because if you put it in this column, you think of, like, and for me, I know you want some bullshit. Okay, stop. Like, no, just stop. Okay, let's just be where we are right now. So yeah, you guys recognize what and why, what it is that is making you feel the fear, and why. Like, what is it really, 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 really about? Yep. So, I think, I never changed my last name. I've been married twice, and I have never changed my name. And so, I'm laughing because I have, like, so many instances like this. I convinced myself that the reason I didn't do that is because, I just want to have, like, I'm just so used to my name. I mean, my name is kind of, different or weird, and I've been working, this is my name, people know me like, really, girl, for real. But when I had this for real conversation with myself about my fears when it came to commitment, and I had to be honest with myself. Bitch, you didn't change your name because you were scared that it wasn't gonna work. You came into the situation like, but what if it doesn't work? I'm not about to go back through all this. You know what I mean? Literally never changed my name. And when you think about, how my ex-husband felt about it, and I was just like, but I was for sure moving straight out of fear. But let me tell you, the conversation that I had was so intelligent. I made it make so much freaking sense. They're like, oh, okay. Until you know how later they're like, nah, but you never changed your name. You be like, we talked about this, remember? Don't you remember? But
I mean, it's too late now.
Right. It's like, forget it. But that was straight fear, because I wanted to be, oh my God, I wanted to be able to, like, for real, I wanted to be able to leave without feeling like they were, like, and it's so stupid, but this is what was really happening with me, but I wasn't acknowledging that, so I'm making up something else to make myself feel better. But I really was afraid that if it doesn't work, okay, what's the quickest and best way for me to be able to leave the situation? And that's fucked up, yo. That was fear.
Yeah.
Like that makes no sense. But that, yeah, but
you're
I'm
able
just
to
being,
acknowledge it now,
yeah.
so
No,
that's
I mean, I think it's totally jacked up. Oh my God, I had a fear of abandonment. I was, I've talked about like the, situation with my biological mother, and I remember I got to a point. I'm like, if the person who is literally born, put on this earth to never leave you, to love you, as a kid, you think it's like, if she can't do it, all the rest of y'all really can't do it. You know what I mean? So I was always prepared. I felt like I didn't want to need somebody too much. So it's like me changing my identity in my head meant like I'm really dependent on them. And what if they leave? And I'm creating this, you know what I mean? Girl, that was some fear. Like fear. Ooh, I had to work through that.
And reasonably so. I mean, you're a child, so that makes complete sense.
I mean, I'm a grown up and I'm getting married to somebody and I'm committing my life to you. I'm getting up, saying these vows. I want to be, but in the back of my head, I'm scared. Like and again, hindsight. I'm a whole grown woman now. Hindsight, yes, but I mean, if I would tell myself then, if that's how you feel, you might want to pause real quick.
Yeah.
You need to work on something. I would literally.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like. But of course, of course, I'm like, no, because, my career, and there's just people who know who I am, and, I had to bet, wait, this is funny, y'all. My first husband, last name was Abdullah, okay? He was Muslim, and this was after 9/11, so we would go traveling. And this is before we got married, stuff like we would travel, and he would always get chosen for the random search, So I was like, I just, want to make sure I don't want unnecessary, stress and girl. And the thing is, it was so funny me thinking about it, and I'm sure. I kind of wonder, and I'm sure now, like, as a grown up, he's like, that was some bullshit. But I really, because it made sense, because he understood, like, what he was going through. And he's like, oh, I can get how she doesn't want to, go through that. And I was like, when everything calms down, we can revisit.
By the time everything calms down, I'll be gone.
Like, I'm done. But I just... But and it's so funny when I think about it, because I am one of those girls, like, I'm down. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody think. I was scared, but I was like, and it wasn't about anybody else. It was my whole, like, yep, this is my man. I'm a dude. Like, I'm a ride or die for mine. I don't care if you don't like him. If that's not your problem. What you eat don't make me poop, boo. Right. So I don't care. But yeah, I came up with that stupid. Oh, girl, I mean, it's funny to me now. Like, seriously, Mia, seriously. Okay.
So I heard this and I wanted to share. So when we are afraid of change, we're ultimately afraid of life. And so you want to think about living your life with excitement instead of dread. And so there's this woman that I listened to. She said that your soul loves change because it represents expansion and evolution, which is what we're meant to do spiritually. So I just threw that in there because I thought it was, interesting. Because I know I sometimes don't like change, but now as an adult, I'm getting better with, like, change is good.
Okay, so wait a minute, let's talk about this. Because, again, it's so appropriate for our current times.
Yes.
Okay, so, wow. I think I hit on this one of the last 2 or 3 episodes where it's like everything in our life is changing. Like, all of the institutions that we grew up with, that we trusted and believed to be true and that will always be there, it's changing.
Yep.
And honestly, it is very fearful, and I can totally understand why people are living, have some fear about what's happening, because this is something we can't even control.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's happening. So then there's all of the fear mongering going on with, to jab or to not to jab, you'll die. There's a mutation. It's all type of everything that is going on, and I think one of the major things that we're going to see what's happening when everything is starting to change, because it's about to get real crazy out here. that the piece about the change, because so many people are fighting like for normalcy. Like, I want to go back to things being normal, and it's never going to go back to what we know as our normal.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree.
So that fear of change, I honestly believe, is what's causing so much of a division between humans.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like, we are,
I agree.
like, they're going to take away this and they're going to take, it's all fear of change of a way of life. And so when you fear change, like you just said, like, you're literally afraid of life, because the only thing that is constant is change. And so we've been able to accept, like, oh, okay, I'm getting older. Yay. Okay, that's a change. Whoop, whoop. Now we're facing societal change on a whole.
Yeah.
And we're not prepared for that. So I think about, like, the, was that be our grandparents who were alive
boomers?
during the Depression?
I think so, or great.
Yeah, but, well, so that the generation that was alive during, just imagine that you are, having a good old time. Like, everything's great, it's cracking, and all of a sudden you are homeless. Your family's out on the street. You're begging for, like, everything changed immediately. All these people with the what's it? Is it Madoff, the one who did the little scam and got all those?
Oh yeah.
So just imagine you, like, this is what's happening. Everything just is pulled away from you without your consent.
Right.
Like, what is going on? So we are experiencing that as a whole, and like, you guys, more than any other time in my life, and I'm 44, do I remember or feel that, or have felt that us dividing ourselves by gender, race, socioeconomic level, jabbed or not jabbed, religion, it is literally the last thing we need to do. If there is one time where we as a collective need to recognize and accept that we are all one, that all of us are one, we come from, it's now. And I think the sooner that we get there and we are able to see how much we are a part of the collective, and we all play a role in the consciousness of humanity, then we will be able to get out of this a little bit sooner. But right now, us fighting each other, y'all, like, and it's all based on fear. We're fighting each other over fear. We don't even know what the hell is about to happen.
Right.
This is all fear. Okay, sorry.
Woo.
You know, I get the preacher sometimes. I'm going to stop.
Don't stop. Get it. Okay.
Shift your mind and raise the consciousness. We just talked about this.
Yeah.
To get to the spiritual root of why we have fear. And last episode was protecting your energy. It's an energy issue, you guys. Remember, everything is energy. And then that's an energy issue, which then manifests itself as a mindset.
Yep.
You know, have you heard that saying? You know, as you think you are, as you believe you are, something to that effect. Literally, and it's energy. So again, acknowledging that energy that is existing with you, and be like, "What you doing here? Right. Hello, let's talk." Excuse me. Yeah. I have to say to myself sometimes, like, I do not consent. When I can feel myself going down a rabbit hole and somebody trying to put some shit, I'm like, nope.
Don't consent.
I do not consent, sir. I don't want to hear this. Thank you.
I feel like I said that like last week. I was like, nope. I don't consent.
No. No, I'm okay. That's your truth, but not for me. So yeah, it is an energy issue, and we talked about, like, protecting your energy last week, you guys, and ding ding ding, here we are talking about it again. Yes. Because energy is everything.
It is, sure is. And as I said earlier, your soul welcomes change, and when you allow yourself to be paralyzed by fear, what you're actually doing, and I thought that this was a really good point to share, is that you are setting up resistance between your human self and your spiritual self. So that's why, a lot of people are just like, wait, say that one more time. So when you allow yourself to be paralyzed by fear, you are setting up resistance between your human self and your spiritual self, because your soul welcomes change.
Absolutely.
So if you are like, if you are telling your soul, I don't want change,
yes,
the human part of you, you are creating resistance between the two.
And we need to not be fighting our souls and our spirits because, yes, please.
And that's going to impact you being able to manifest. That's going to impact you, just having good energy, receiving it, giving it. So don't fight yourself.
And we said, if you are able to move beyond the point of fear and face it, perfect example. Okay, I have another example of me doing.
I'd like to hear.
I ran track in college.
She's a runner. She's a track star.
Hey, she is. There was, now mind you, I practiced 6 days a week minimally 4 hours a day. Every track meet, I was still a little nervous, but it's one race that I don't care. I have trained for this. It's the last race of the meet, and it's like the best race ever to watch. It's that damn mile relay. Every time it was time for the mile relay, I would literally be trying to figure out how I'm a fake sick so I don't have to do it. I never actually said it, but it was just like it. I was terrified. It was like this fear, and it's like, you trained for this, girl. You literally putting hours and hours and hours. Why? What are you scared? Like, it was this. Because it's like the one race, like the entire stadium, everybody is watching this. Like, it's.
Well, see, that's different.
It's like, I feel like everybody's there, and it's just people are screaming, and especially if you're.
Because I feel like racing, like, you have to. There is a certain expectation as far as your performance.
Yeah, and your team.
And for your team. So that's,
when I say it, every time, I cannot.
So I can understand why
I wanted to throw up every single time. I hate it. No other race was like this. Even when I would go jump, it wasn't like this. That thing, I'm like, I don't want to do it. My hammy. Maybe I should. I don't know, because next week we got a real big meet now. I would try to make up I was so scared, but I knew I wasn't gonna bitch out on my team. But as soon as that gun went off, it was the anticipation of it. And that's so sometimes the fear is really the anticipation, but as soon as that gun went off, all that shit went away.
Yeah, same when I was.
It's like, boom, okay, I'm here. But when you're standing there and you're like, it was the most debilitating. I wanted to throw up. I can't even explain this. But as soon as I faced it, because I'm going to do it, and then all of a sudden I was fine. And then, you're running in, and then I'm over it. And now I'm able to keep moving, and I'm cheering on but boy. That's
awesome, yeah.
It was, I hated it.
That was me. Every time I would get on stage to dance, I would just, I would feel in the wings like I would have to puke. Was just... But then I didn't have, of course I had my fellow dancers. Where,
but there's an audience out there waiting to see you come shake a tail feather, and they want to see it right.
Yeah, but I also didn't feel like I had, if I fucked up, if I was messing up, then it was my fault. It wouldn't be a reflection on my peers. Whereas with the team,
it would be a reflection on your company. Don't you think?
But I didn't feel that pressure.
Okay, you didn't feel it. Yeah, I got you.
Me,
Yeah.
But I felt that same, oof. So what did you do? So what are some things that you did to overcome, that?
Honestly, during that time, I just didn't want to let down my teammates. What I'm going to do? You know what I mean? I didn't, I'm 18, 19, 20, 21 years, you know what I mean? I'm in college. So I didn't want to let them down. And I just kept, that's so funny. Wow. I've been saying affirmations for a long fucking time. I just realized that. I used to tell myself, you're ready for this. Okay, you're ready for this, Mia. And I would go back to think about how many times I've done this. How many times have you run this? You know exactly what to do. You know exactly, you have been training your body to do this. And I just kept telling myself I was ready for it. But I was scared. I cannot understand what the fear was. I mean, I was scared like I was in danger. I was not in danger at all. And I think that's one of those times where you jump in the water. Mm-hmm. So it's like literally like I'm like, if you're, you know, you're like, okay, I'm here. I'm out on this boat. I made a decision. I got my snorkeling. I didn't pay for this. I got the snorkeling. What I'm gonna do? Not go in? It's like, you put in these hours, you put in this time, you have this team. What are you gonna do? Not run? Because when the gun goes off, what you gonna do? Stand there like a dummy? No, you gonna haul ass like you've been training to do. So that's one of those type of things. But I did think, no, it's about the fear of abandonment in relationships and me setting myself up so I can cry.
So you can dip. The Homer
Oh my goodness! Fade to the back. I didn't recognize it when I was doing it. But as I've been, you know, going through, you know, y'all know I'm single, and so me taking the time and like, okay, but for real though, like I'm like just one relationship after another. It's like no room, no space. Like it's somebody waiting when one is done. Did you check it? And I just kept going, and it was something like, you sit down, because baby, everybody, it's like, what's going on with you? And I realized that I was bringing baggage to the relationship, but it wasn't like this loud baggage. It's not like, you know, I'm not bringing, you know, bad credit to the relationship. I'm not bringing all these, you know, all these things that you would think like, you know, I'm not a liability. So, but that was baggage, emotional baggage, and it's all based off of my fear of what could happen instead of allowing myself to be in the space of what is happening. Facts. Now, I did experience some shit that was messed up. What was happening, but I kind of feel like it's like you know how I was waiting for the shoe to drop. So then you see anything like, see, exactly. This is what I was right here. And so I don't want to go into a relationship like that now at this age. I don't want to go into, you real nice now, but when. I don't like, no, sis, like that's not cute. That's not, I want to be able to be vulnerable and free, and whatever happens is going to happen, because guess what? If you go into it fearful and holding yourself back, if this person is going to do something, guess what? They're going to do it anyway.
Right. Yep.
So this isn't necessarily about trying to manage your feelings off of what you believe somebody else is going to do.
Managing yourself.
Bam. For you.
Yeah, it's about managing yourself.
So that's a lesson that I learned, but it took me till I was 40 to like sit down and be like, wait a minute, hold on. Something. Damn, that is kind of jacked up, because my ex-husband Jay's dad said to me, and he's like, why'd you never change? I'm like, we talked about this, and we kind of started to have a little conversation about it, and I was like, hold on, let me get back to you on this, because I was like, wait, bitch, you lie? You gonna sit up here and lie again? Like, because, I mean, it's just so much. I was like, you're lying to yourself right now. Stop. I was like, I'm going to have to get back to you on that. Because, like, I for real need to, have a conversation with myself about this. Like, this is jacked up. Like, you know.
I will say, and this is kind of, I mean, a little silly, but I had, and I still don't really like it, but I had a fear of, like, speaking in public, like public speaking.
Really?
Oh my gosh, when I had to present my practicum for my public health, for my degree.
Wait, okay, so who did you have to present it to?
My advisor, the committee.
How many people on the committee?
I mean, I think I had my advisor, this guy, it was like five people, and then guests came, my mom came. So just like, and I've gotten better with it.
So you had to like literally stand up and present your practicum to all these people.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I got to a point where I was like, why am I so afraid to just talk in front of people? And I guess because I've been
like this work that you've been doing all this time. You're like, right. I know this.
So I started going to like Toastmasters. And
OMG.
like, you know, just so I could get used to talking in front of people and getting up and, you know, being comfortable. Because I never had to be, I mean, if I didn't have to talk in meetings, I don't have to talk in meetings.
Do you know what's so funny? I love Toastmasters. I sent several of the people who used to work underneath me to Toastmasters. Because
It's a Hyde Park location.
I've actually never gone through, because that one wasn't one of mine. But I had some people who were like, you're so good, and we would have to go to present and stuff, and like, you need to go. I got something for you. But it helps. That's actually,
it does help.
And it's even more than the public speaking. It's something, the confidence.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, making sure you don't say and all those things.
Yes.
But, I mean, that was a really great lesson for me. I still don't enjoy.
Wait, so did you go to Toastmasters after you did your, so it was like, was it just like, okay, I need to, because I can't do this?
I realized that it was a fear of mine. I was like, okay, we need to get over this fear. So the Toastmasters group, like every meeting you have to stand up and talk. They put you on the spot.
Wow.
So now it's at a point, like, they called me out in one of the meetings, like, oh, Christy, what do you have to say about the budget? I was like, all right, here's what's going on. And I've gotten better with it, but it's still one of those things where I'm like, if I don't have to talk, I'm cool, because I like to work behind the scenes. But if I have to now, I'm like, okay, let's do it.
And so do you still... Well, no, I mean, like, is it a fear, or is it like some anxiousness? Is it, because I mean, there's a difference between, like, you know, it's like, okay, I like people like for real fear, like I can't do it, like they can't move past it.
It's a fear, and I think it's a fear coupled with the anticipation and the anxiety. Because once I start talking, then it's fine, and I kind of figured out what works for me. Like, tell a joke, people laugh. Okay, now I'm good. But that's like one of the examples of how I've been kind of trying to get over my fears. But honestly, like when you learn to work through your fear, which is what we're kind of talking about and sharing for ourselves, that fear no longer controls your life. That's what we want to address to you all, is that, you know, we're not telling you to just overcome your fears just because. We want you to enjoy your life, so that these fears aren't controlling you. And again, you may still feel the fear, but it's not going to control you.
So okay, so this is really more, and I'm sorry if I just want to make sure, because it's not necessarily fixing it. It's not like,
it's
you know
not
what I mean?
Fixing it, but it's giving me. So this probably dates back to my psychology bachelor's studies. One of the things, especially like dealing with people who have like fear or phobias, you know, one of the things that psychologists talk about is exposure. I have some really crazy fears, and I'm not going to share them here. And so one of the things that I do is I expose myself. I force myself to be exposed to it so that I can get used to it and realize that there is no reason for me to be fearful.
Okay, so for people who are listening, it's like, okay, you sound really brave to somebody right now, because how do you get, you know what I mean? Like for real, like,
how do I, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm here, it's here. So how do I move forward?
So there is this video that Will Smith did on fear, and he talks about how he's, you know, how fear has kind of controlled him in certain areas of life. And he made this comment, and he said, I hate the way I feel when I'm afraid.
Oh!
And when he said that, I was like,
I almost cried.
Too.
Yes.
Like, I
don't like the... Thank you. Okay.
The feeling.
Bam.
And so that is the thing that has pushed me, like, get over this. Like, come on now. I'm just going to share right here. I don't like turbines. I don't like turbines.
Oh, you did? Where were we?
Like a field of turbines.
I know. Where were we when we drove, when we saw those? You said, you're like, I don't like it. And I'm like, wait, what is she talking about? I remember you saying that.
Especially, I can deal with one, I can deal with two, I can deal with three, but a whole field of them, it just gives me like these creepy death is coming vibe. I don't know where it came from.
Interesting.
But whenever, like, I remember when I've driven to Kentucky, there's a field of these things. I'm like, okay, Christy, here we are. Lots of breaths. Just drive, acknowledge them, you're fine. I just don't like them.
And just keep going.
Yeah, but
I like what you said though, like that quote, like, I don't like the way I feel when I feel it. Oh, because
I feel like, you know, like I feel like I'm being punked. Like I feel I don't like the way fear makes me feel. So I just told myself, you know what? If it makes you afraid, take care of that. Handle it. Okay.
So, and one I think for some people it might help to think about what you fear is what you must conquer.
Yes.
Which you have to master.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Which starts with self-mastery.
Well, girl, you know, I mean, like, honestly, that is because, as we said earlier, the fear is telling you something. It's straight up it's telling you something like, hey, pay attention over here. We don't like this. We don't feel good right now. Can we talk about this?
Because honestly, like, the things I'm afraid of, come on, turbines. Like, why am I afraid of turbines? Like, what is it going to fall on me?
You think maybe you saw a scary movie or something when you were a kid?
No, I was born and raised on horror movies. Gore and blood, oh my gosh, I love that. My father had me watching scary movies when I was like 6 and 7.
Christy, you can watch scary movies today. Can you still watch them?
Oh, yeah. And I would critique. I was like, oh, yeah, that's not enough gore. That blood is unrealistic. Oh, that
what?
Was nothing.
Oh,
yes.
my.
Oh, I love blood and gore.
Christy,
born and raised.
Do you know I cannot watch. I do not like scary movies.
I love scary movies.
How'd you feel?
I love scary movies. Okay, so let's start talking about, we are almost at an hour now. This is actually a really great topic too.
Mm-hmm.
Letting go of some stuff, which is good. So what is going on spiritually causing me to fear? So let's talk about it. So last week, we talked about the root chakra, which is the foundation for the entire system of the 7 chakras. So that's the foundation. And the root chakra deals with safety and survival. So think about some of the trauma that we've endured as children and how it's affecting us to this day. So spiritually, your root chakra can be off balance. You know, you might want to see someone to work with you on that particular chakra. Next.
Wait a minute. That's what, hey, get it together. Okay. Trust. And control when we are fearful. Trust and control turns on when we are fearful. Okay. In order to work through your fear, you have to learn to trust yourself and let go of control. Now, if you, like, I would say this. I love this. Oh God, was it? I think it was Lao Tzu. I'm gonna look it up.
I love that.
There's no greater illusion than fear, or there's no illusion greater than fear, or something like that. It's like it's basically the best lie you ever told yourself.
Yep.
And so we have to let go of that lie.
Yep. And trust yourself.
And trust yourself. Seriously, when I say I had that moment when my ex, I was like, you are a whole lying to yourself right now. Like, you are, and you gonna carry this lie baby across, like, bad lady, come on, carry this lie. Stop, like, you know, and trust what you are really feeling. Allow yourself to feel that real talk.
Because a lot of times when we fear, we don't trust ourselves.
No.
And that's
I'm like, that's, I think, ooh, I'm so glad you said that. Hold on. Hard pause on trusting yourself, the correlation between not trusting yourself and fear. Because we feel out of control.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And in situations where we have full control over our own self, we would say we don't have control and let fear win. Because we don't trust ourselves. Oh, girl, yes. That right there is a word. Yes, ma'am.
So this is a concept that I heard that I thought to share since we're talking about the root chakra. So a sabotaging inner child, which we talked about the inner child the last episode. So a sabotaging inner child, which lives in the root chakra. So if your inner child is wounded, it can take control over you, and the sabotaging inner child can then make you fearful of everything. Oh, I'm afraid of this, oh, I'm afraid of that, or no, I don't want to do that, I want to do that, because you haven't dealt with those inner child issues. And so now that inner child is forever controlling, you know, who you are and who you identify with, because we're going to talk about it in this next point.
Yeah. Look, I'm like, I'm over here listening to you like, girl. We have our egos, y'all. Like, our egos are very controlling.
Yep.
And it's so funny now. I having so much much more of an understanding of what our ego is. When I think about how we would say somebody is egotistical, I'm like, oh boy, you might as well have called them all type of names. Like,
ouch! I heard
right?
that
I mean,
one.
like, woo. Our ego is, it's like it's connected to our sense of identity, and our ego is going to fight every time to protect its sense of identity, and which is why, back to what we were saying earlier, there's so much of the fear mongering going on. A lot of this is people trying to control and fight for their sense of identity, what their ego tells them they are. And the thing about the ego, this is where it'll trick you, because you're like, shoot, I know who I am. The thing about the ego is that it limits you.
Yep.
Your ego is limiting. It would only give you so much space and opportunity, whereas your spirit and your soul are limitless. So you are limitless. But anyway, okay. Limitless. So the development of, our personality has everything to do with the quality of your energy in your lower chakras. So like what Christy was just talking about, the root chakra. So everything, the development of your personality has everything to do with the quality of your energy in your lower chakra. So that's your root, your sacral, and solar.
Yep.
So when you think about those first three, starting from the bottom up, that has so much to do with how it is that we show up for ourselves in the world, how we show up every day in the world. So the more controlling your ego, the more you will fear change. Because again, the ego is going to fight to keep status quo. So even if the change is beautiful and good and what you actually want, please know that you're still going to have to fight your ego.
Yep.
Because they're like, we good over here. Thank you. Beat it, Becky, with the bullshit. We ready. We're good. But when you're spiritually, especially when you're going through your, what, we like to call our awakening. Your ego fights that because you're changing.
Yep.
And if you're listening to this, you probably have experienced or are experiencing right now. Like, I know what's good for me. I know I know what I can see it. But you're like, what am I doing over here? Ego.
Yep.
And baby, that's a warrior right there. That ego will fight.
It's connected to your root chakra, so that's why that inner child healing is so important. So we kind of talked about how to overcome fear. You can strengthen and do some root chakra work, dancing, drumming, grounding or earthing, walking around barefoot on the earth.
Have sex.
Yes.
That
Being
helps.
outdoors, exercising. Honestly, the more that you get out of your head and into your body, the more you are grounding your root. And make sure you do your inner child work. And there's this term called reparenting your inner child. That's more of like a psychology term. But that's something that, like, if you're considering doing some inner child work, you might want to consider, like, approaching your inner child as you are the parent.
Right. Did we talk about this in the
You may
I was about to say, because I feel like I'm if we haven't, I'm just gonna say it again, because that's such a, like, how when you're kind of working through that, when you're working through these moments where you're kind of working with, especially that inner child work, you guys answer yourself as if you are the parent. So for me, it's like, what would I tell Jade? Like, if I'm like, so if Jade was like, but no, it's like a lot of us, and you guys, like, we're not out here talking about parents are terrible and blah blah blah. At the end of the day, people love at the capability and level they know, like real talk. And so, but a lot of us do have to reparent ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Parts of ourselves, and that's okay. And that, because now you know, hell, by the time you learn to reparent yourself, you know how to get it right.
Right.
And let me tell all the mommies and daddies out there listening, some of your children gonna have to reparent themselves too. I know. Yes. We are doing our absolute best, and that's why we don't need to hold ourselves right when especially moms do this to each other. We're trying to make it seem like everything is so perfect. And as moms, we need sometimes to hear like, girl, I don't know what the hell. I mean, I thought about killing her. Like, I can't do that. I don't know what to do.
Right.
And so we need to kind of be there for each other. But yes, please know, even though you've done probably your bestest, your child probably going to have some reparenting to do.
Laptops come with instructions, but kids do not. So we try our best.
Hey.
We try our best.
Facts.
So another way to overcome fear is affirmation. So something that you said, like when you attacked me, you are prepared for this, or you are
like
ready.
I did this.
You can do this. Also, trust yourself. Fear exists when there is a part of us we don't trust, or if we think that we're incapable. So know that you are divine. You are a divine, powerful spiritual being, and you are perfectly capable of navigating through your fears. And if that's something that you have to tell yourself, tell yourself. But you are greater than your fears.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Meditation is also a great way to quiet the ego mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so okay. Takeaway. Look, I'm like, I mean,
because I'm still afraid,
right? Because I mean, just y'all, we just. I would say this, like, and this is so honest, for real. At every cycle or lesson in my life, I talked about, the fear that what I realized that I was doing and how I was self-sabotaging in relationships. Mm-hmm. That's a fear that I've been able to, like, okay, I get it, but I still, like, something else will come up because, like, again, the only thing that's constant is change. Yes. So as I'm growing and maturing and becoming more wise and just stepping more into my amness.
Mm-hmm. Amness.
And my I amness. You heard me.
There you go.
More things are coming full circle. And we have this wonderful, we're going to talk about this a little bit more because we have this great question for the queens that we got.
Ooh, yes.
And it is about this. And I know this is something right now that Christie is actually working through now. So the takeaway, you guys, is look at my food child, because I'm just thinking, like, my takeaway is that when you conquer or face one of your fears, it's one of the best things. When I always talk about loving yourself, like, it's one of the best ways that you show love to yourself.
Yeah.
Like, love is not just, all these beautiful, romantic, and treat yourself. Yes, that's a part of loving yourself. But when I tell you that conquering your fears and facing your fears, it's literally you telling your spirit, like, oh wait, hold on, what's this? I love you. Let's talk about this. And it changes you. It does something to you. It allows you to see more compassion for when you see it, and then it allows you to acknowledge, just like how Christy said, you're in the water, you're like, okay. Because once you start to conquer those fears, and then you notice how, oh my God, this is some amazing things. I can't believe I did this. And then it kind of gives you fuel to be ready for the next one.
Right.
Because there will be a next one.
Yeah, there is.
But I do think that facing and conquering your fears is, stop lying to yourself. Mm-hmm. For real. Love yourself. Yeah. What's your takeaway, Christy?
So I have two. So the one I already said is that you are more powerful than your fears. But
yes.
then also the second takeaway is, on the other side of fear, and this is actually another book idea that I want to write about. On the other side of fear is freedom. Like, once you conquer your fears, you find
facts.
You are so free. And then not only are you free, but you're also more confident in yourself, and it allows you to trust yourself more, because you realize, like, it builds self-trust.
Yes.
But that's my takeaway.
Well, wait, I like that though. Freedom for me is such a huge. I need to be able to feel free in a relationship, and these are things that that I know about myself. Free to be who I am all the time. That I don't have to be somebody else. You know what I mean? And a lot of that is me allowing myself to be free. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, just be who you are. Yes. Don't stop jumping in people's heads trying to be
who you be.
I mean, I be who I am. Damn. But I like that, Christy, because there is something like once you get you do feel free.
Yeah,
like, oh my goodness, you're like, oh, what was I tripping? Okay, and I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so
what's today's temple word?
Instead of that, we're gonna do. We don't have temple work this week, but I got this question. Hold on.
Oh, question for the queen.
Yes. No, hold on. I'm in the wrong. I got it. Wait, Chris, you want to talk about the crystal while I pull this up?
I can talk about.
Okay.
So this week's featured crystal.
Hey, what we got?
Spirit quartz.
Bing, bing, bing.
So spirit quartz, the element is storm, chakras, crown, and solar plexus. So spirit quartz it's a type of amethyst, which I had no idea. So it's amethyst of greater or lesser quality, but it's known as either as a cactus quartz or porcupine quartz. It varies. But this particular crystal is perfect for bringing spirit into play with all aspects of one's inner and outer life. When used with meditation, spirit quartz can also bring peace of mind and freedom from fear. Fear governs much of human behavior. Fear compels us to sacrifice love and spontaneous joy for the sake of security. You hear that? So if you're holding back and living life in fear, you are not living. Spirit quartz gently releases the tensions of our conscious and unconscious fears, allowing us to truly, truly live. Have you worked with spirit quartz before?
I love spirit quartz. I have one in my bedroom.
Do you? I don't have one.
I really like it. It's I like to use amethyst when I'm working, with my spiritual team. Spirit quartz for me, and I have it like next to my bed. Amethyst is a much stronger stone for me.
Okay.
So, but spirit quartz next to my bed, I really love the I just really love the energy of it. It's mellow. I've definitely meditated with this several times. Oh, I like spirit quartz. It's good. It's pretty too. I love it. It's great with the crown chakra. It to me, if I could try to find a way to describe the energy, it is like the little sister to amethyst, like the little fun sister to amethyst. Like, I
could see
she's
that.
a little more, amethyst is like, look now,
we got some work to do.
we got some, she's a little like, yeah, but can we do it outside with ice cream? She's just I really like the energy, and I feel like it helps me, especially if I'm trying to have some dreams where I'm like, all right, I need to talk to my peoples. I'll take it off my what do you call that thing that's the nightstand. I'll put it under my pillow. I like spirit quartz a lot.
Nice. I've never worked with it, but now I shall. I'll have to add it to my collection.
And then it's supposed to be helpful in romantic relationships too, but I don't.
Hey,
I'm just saying. I don't know yet.
We're gonna speak things.
I'm saying I don't know that yet. No, but I really do like that. Yeah. Okay, so I have our question.
Yay.
Okay.
Questions.
Okay. This wonderful. I'm not going to say her name because she's asking the question for her sister. But what she said was, my sister, and she's a listener too. She said she's finally stepping deeper into her healer traits, but she is actually scared to use her skill. Wait. She's a crystal healer, so I can't wait to see what Christy has to say about this. She's afraid to use her skill, crystal healing, on others. Okay. How did you guys get confident with using your healing skills? Girl, I was like, because this right here. Okay, while Christy's over there thinking, she's over there like, actual factuals.
Well, I can speak to it.
Big fear for me.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
It was a big fear for me too, but so when I did my certification, I knew that it was something that I really, really, really wanted to do. But I was so terrified. And so I think I started working with like friends or my sister or people that would give me feedback that I could trust and I wouldn't be too afraid of.
Yeah.
So that was helpful. And then I will also say, you encouraged me a lot too. You're like, no, Christy, like, you've been doing this.
Yeah. No, I would say even for me, I'm laughing because, like, when I tell you what was it, yesterday? I just got over this yesterday. I have been, let me see, at least the last 18 months, I've been downloading this healing modality. And it's not a healing modality that kind of already exists, but I've learned, so I just kept following. I've been talking about this for a while.
So cool.
I've been talking about it, like, I've been talking to Chris about it. I'm like, I'm waiting for all the pieces to come together. And so when I finally, I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, all the pieces came together. I was like, okay, now what am I supposed to do? Do it! Right? Like, now what am I? So, I mean, I was genuinely like, I'm, because I think it was, for me, it was different. Like, okay, Reiki. Like, okay, you went and, you got certified, you Reiki. And even with reading, that's not, I felt very confident. It's because I was just like, it makes it, I know that. Like, I get that. Like, even doing the readings.
Really?
Yeah, that one was much easier for me. This, because it was just like, I've had a reading before. So do you know what I mean? Like, I had something to kind of...
Okay. To base it from.
This was like... Spirit is literally like... I have pages and pages and pages of pages. And me having a conversation with Spirit. Like, this is how this works. This is what you're going to do. And I'm like... And I'm trying to look for something that matches it. And they're like, forge. Don't follow. You're forging a new healing one. And so when I say... My friend Kelly... She basically was like, so you gonna do it or what? And I'm like, and so when I say, I was like, okay, I'm doing it. And so I'm offering this, it's called the Dragonfly, and I went and got a dragonfly tattoo on me, you guys, too. Because there was, like, my commitment, like, this is your shit. They, like, it's time to put it out there, and I'm so excited about it. But I was so much more excited in the process and learning it and discovering it. And then when it's like, I kind of was a little sad when
that the process of being.
Yes, I'm like, but maybe I'm not quite sure yet. So
there you go with that.
Right. See, so I was looking back over my notes, and third line, second paragraph. Yes, now. So I literally, so to answer the question, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I did. So yesterday I did this. It was yesterday or the day before yesterday. I did the post. I'm like, all right, guys, and I'm offering it at my friend's crystal shop at the Lotus Den in Chicago. When I say once I posted it, I literally threw my phone down and ran out the room. Like, I was so scared. Like, see? Like, I was scared. Like, oh my God. Okay, I said it. Okay, what do I do? Like, I did not want to look at my phone. Like, so I'm just keeping it 100. I'm
waiting to get certified in dragon.
Right? Look, I'm like, I'm so like, but I would say that even in some of the other healing modalities, I was still a little, I said this to Christy the other day. I said, I think for me, if I didn't pay for it, I had trouble trying to figure out how to charge for it. So with the readings, it's like, nobody showed me. I just, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, you do this.
People are paying you for your expertise.
Right. But I'm just saying, when I first started doing readings, it was like, I know that I know this, but it was difficult for me. I don't know how to, you know what I mean? Because it was still new to me. So when you are stepping into your healer, your healer energy, and you're ready to share it with the world, and you're being called to share it with the world. Like Christy said, I say start off with, friends and family. Like, hey, let me try this on you. Tell me what you think. And so that allows you to feel a little bit more comfortable in it. Start talking about it, just more and more.
I think the hardest thing is just doing it.
Oh, facts.
And then once you do it, like for me, once I did it and I started getting good feedback, I was like, okay, well maybe there is something to this.
Yeah.
And then I started to build the confidence. And then I started to trust myself, like, okay, Christy, you're good.
It's but I will say though, for your sister and anybody else who is kind of in this same type of situation, it's like, okay, I've done this and I did this for a reason, because I want to share with the world. You guys, I wish I had the magic pill for that one, because
Right.
I would have been taking it and sold it to y'all. Actual factual. That is a thing.
Yeah, it is. And feel free to send your sister my way. I'd be happy to chat with her.
Yes, you guys, for real. Like, that's, but trust that you were or have been guided, and you chose to be a healer. So now just choose to actually heal. And okay, let me tell one other thing too. You do not have to be altogether perfect in order to help people. You
do not.
like, and because first of all, that will never happen. So sometimes I know that people will stop themselves for the fear that, but I mean, I don't have everything together. How can I be out helping people? Like, guys, you can be a work in progress and still helping people in their journey. Okay.
Yep.
It's all everybody is attracted to healers and different personalities for a reason.
Yep.
So whatever reason, there will be people who are attracted to you for your services, and but you got to allow yourself, you got to open your hands, open your heart, so that people can know to come. And again, that's a message for me too. So, girl, but start practicing. Just, you have to start doing it. Okay.
I think that's the biggest hurdle, to just start.
Yeah. No, that's, I can't. Seriously, I mean, I was like a little kid yesterday. I mean, I literally threw my phone in my bed and I had to just run away. I didn't want to no, I don't want to, leave me alone. And then you're like, okay.
I'm so excited for you.
But it was, I am excited, but I literally had to get over that step. Like,
You just had to do it.
that step. That's it. And it was just like, I mean, I was Christy, I'm over here pitting out like, okay. Now wait, does this make sense? Okay. Well, maybe I should. No. I mean, I almost let the fear paralyze me and also don't let the fear paralyze. Don't let perfection paralyze your progress. Christy.
Yeah.
Mia.
Baby.
You're like, but it has to be perfect.
And that's another thing too that I realized, especially with energy work. No one knows you made it. Like if you're supposed to do something, like if you were trained a certain way and you do something opposite direction, it doesn't. No one knows.
It's all about how the
intention.
Yes.
It's all about intention.
It's like and so stay with the intention that you are a healer, and a healer heals.
Yes.
All right, y'all.
Do we have a card pull or no? Message of the day.
Oh yes, I'm so sorry. I was looking at the time. I want to make sure
you're fine.
Okay, so our message for the day, you guys. I was looking at some tarot cards a few minutes ago, thinking. So I feel like last week I talked a little bit about how fear is one of the best tools for manipulation. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to talk about, really quickly, about how unity, oneness, and love is one of the best tools for moving past manipulation. Mm-hmm. So let me ask, so you guys, real talk. Anytime you are in a situation with a person, a place, an institution, whatever, and you are being encouraged not to ask questions, you need to ask questions. We talk about trusting our intuition. We talk about trusting who we are. We talk about, we're trying to create and manifest your life that you desire. Yeah. And here's the thing, no matter what is happening outside, there is still an opportunity for you to create your life. But when you are going through this process and people are trying to manipulate you, or you are trying to be manipulated, allow yourself to pause and love on yourself and trust yourself. And I feel like I say trust yourself so much, and because it's real, I can't trust yourself. If something does not sound right or sit right, and let me tell you something. When someone is trying to put fear into you to make you do something, pause.
Yep.
Stop. Just be like, wait a minute, hold on. Because if it is what it is, then it's going to be what it's going to be. Why do you have to put some fear into me in order for me to see or believe your way? It's one of the best ways. So things are changing, you guys. Life is changing. You are changing. And we just said this. Change is constant. Once we take away the fear, or we take away the power of someone else to put fear inside of us, we keep control of ourselves. So this week, you guys, all we're asking, all Spirit is saying to, if you have a question, it's for a reason. Mm-hmm. If you have a thought that is not necessarily in alignment with what everybody is trying to scare you or fear you into believing, it's for a reason. And that is when sometimes we have to just go into hermit mode. It's like, I get it. Let me go in my little put this bubble around me. Let me go. I literally go in my closet. Girl, if I feel like I need to be completely kind of engulfed in, like, I don't want to hear anything but me and my thoughts, I'll go in my closet, close the door. I will, because, just like, let me sit in here just because there's no light in there. Mm-hmm. And that's if I'm really having trouble. Like, how you can feel yourself when, like, you start freaking out. I'm telling you, messed around and turned on a real story. Messed around and turned on the news. I had to go in my closet. I had to go. No,
You went in. Wait, you said you go inside your closet?
I'm dead serious. Like, I am dead, y'all. I'm telling all my business. You guys, in the morning, Jay falls asleep with her TV on. So in the morning, I go in her room, and she must have been, for some reason, this girl had MSNBC on. I'm like, Jay, she's like, no, I had her on Netflix, and then it just turned off, and I guess she had on MSNBC. So I'm in her room, turning off her TV, and like, all right, Jade, I'm going to give you another hour to sleep. It's on. So now I'm standing here, and they got me. They got me. Christy, they got. And I'm standing there like, and I felt it. I was like, no. I was like, oh, y'all trying to get me. Oh, baby, not today. I'm not the one or the two. So let me tell you what I'm about to do. I tra-la-la my little butt, grab my amethyst, wiped myself with my son, and I went in my closet because I was like, I needed to black out everything. Like, no, just me, because they tried to take me there. So you guys, when I say they tried to get me with the fear. It was quick. It was quick. Like, damn, how I just walk in on accident and you got no ma'am. So honestly though, spiritually, when people are going through their spiritual awakening, like, for real, like, I'm being silly, but I'm very serious. When people are going through their spiritual awakening, you guys, think about it. Most of it starts with a question. Most people start with, Now that doesn't quite make, okay. And then you just kind of start going through this questioning process. And really your awakening is honestly a series of questions and answers that you have with yourself. Yes. And your soul and your spiritual team. That's really what this journey is. Mm-hmm. So in this 3D world, just use this same mentality in this 3D world as we are walking through this human experience. If there is something that is encouraging you not to question, pause real quick and think about that. Okay? Allow yourself to trust yourself and question whatever it is that you need to question for you. And let me say this part. That does not mean you need to go out here preaching to everybody about what the hell you believe and what you don't believe. That's not the point. The point is, if you have a question within yourself and something doesn't feel right or sound right or is not adding up, it's okay for you to have that moment to pause and question, because
absolutely,
even if it's not even if it's not you that's doing it, but it's something that you're experiencing, it's okay. You can pause and question. And I'm telling you, just think about even in a relationship. If somebody, say you look, you're sitting with your guy and the phone rings, you're like, oh, who's Keisha? Like, why you questioning me? Now I'm really got a question. Right. You know what I mean? Like for real.
Really
Not now. Because when someone's not able, won't even allow you to ask questions. And I'm speaking globally here, so I just need y'all to pick up what I'm putting down. Globally. Okay, just when you are encouraged not to ask questions, then pause. Something's wrong with that. When you have questions that are being ignored or not answered, pause. Okay, because that's how we get to our journey. We ask questions like, wait a minute, hold on. I got a question. How come? No. Right. So that's the message for today, you guys. We love y'all.
Yes.
Thank you for listening and sharing with your friends. We love our questions.
Yes. Please keep sending.
That's it.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, you guys know how to find us. We're not going to go through the whole spiel. But
you know where we be.
Y'all make sure you follow Mia.
Oh, my goodness.
I already told you she is one of the best readers. And then I'm really so excited to be a recipient of her Dragonfly method.
I literally have goosebumps as you're saying this. I'm like, I really just put this out in the world, huh?
I'm putting it out there for you.
I know. I'm like, this actually happened, huh? Okay.
So follow her page so you can see how her modality evolves and grows and blesses other people. Because I will be the first person to sign up for certification because that's all I'm about. But
Christy loves her certifications, y'all.
I like to learn.
I swear, this girl knows everything.
I am
but the thing is, you can really be teaching these classes. I don't know what the hell. Okay, sorry. And then please follow my partner, my sister, Christy, at Christy R. Edwards, because she is the biz to the nest. And Christy has something she's about to, this is, so I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to tell y'all what it is. I'm going to let her have her when she's ready. But I'm going to tell y'all, she is about to launch something, and she is excited and scared. And that's actually how we got to this episode today. This one over here is like, help me breathe this out. So follow to see what Chrissy's got up her sleeve. I'm excited.
It's an adventure.
It is. It's an adventure.
See, I'm embracing the unknown. Flip it.
Yes. So we love you guys.
Yes,
and
love you.
next Friday, thank you. Light, peace, love, and soul.
Hey, you guys have a wonderful day. Love, guys.